but you know, it feels nice. It feels kind of Hi everyone, welcome back to Pavonine Studios Beauty and Art. My name is Amy. Thank you for joining me for another Mix It Monday. Today we are going to try a couple of new things, both of which I have worn, but I'm not completely sold on. These are both foundations that I picked up. Actually, they're both BB creams that I picked up at Yes Style. So I have the Missha in number 23, and I have the Purito also in number 23. And I really like the undertone of the Missha one. It's a very sort of, it's very neutral. It's so neutral as to be almost kind of an olivey, almost gray, which sounds terrible, but I like a foundation with an undertone like that to tone down the pinkness of my skin. But I'm gonna mix these two because I don't know, this one's a nice neutral undertone as well, but it's a little bit dark. Let me show you what those look like on the back of my hand. So this lighter one here is the Missha one, and then the Purito one is the darker one. And I am going to put this on with my Zoeva foundation brush. Let me zoom you in just a little bit. Don't lose your panties or anything, but I actually primed a little bit today with the Farsali Unicorn Essence. And I picked this up at Costco. It was like the little mini size for, I think it was about $15, which I think is about $7 less than if you buy the mini size at Sephora. It feels kind of a little bit tacky, which is kind of what you want in a primer. You want your foundation to have something to stick to, or for it to blur out your pores or whatever. Most of the time I don't like primers. I don't feel like they do anything. It feels like an unnecessary step. I've heard people talk about the Unicorn Essence Farsali stuff for years now, and I would probably never have purchased it at Sephora, but since they had it at Costco and it was a little bit less than it would, you know, be at Sephora, I thought, okay, I'm gonna try it. And it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't want to like you. I don't want to like you. I'm tired of seeing people drop it on their face and all of that. You know, that's just not my jam. If you want to do that, that's okay. I liked the way it looked. It has a little bit of a kind of a glow. I don't want to say shimmer. It's not really shimmery, but it does have a little reflex in it. So we will see if it does anything for the longevity of my makeup or makes it go on nicer. I think the color's okay. Yay! That makes me very happy. I'm not going to bring it all the way up under my eyes because I do plan to do a little concealer. Who am I doing concealer? But oddly enough, I have been doing concealer the last, I don't know, a couple of weeks or whatever. It was probably just a matter of finding the right one, and I think maybe I have found it in my Giorgio Armani one. All I can say is it better be good because that shit's expensive. And I've got an entire drawer full of concealers that are okay. And that's why I don't tend to wear them, because they are just okay. You'll probably notice that I have put my little nose stud back in, which I've had my nose pierced for almost 30 years. I'm 51 now. And I haven't worn a stud or ring or anything in months because I just didn't have anything that I liked, and I didn't have anything that wouldn't just fall out the minute I touched my nose or blew my nose or washed my face or whatever. And I finally I bought something at the craft store. I bought a head pin. They're called head pins if you know anything about making jewelry. And it is a stainless steel head pin. Well, I bought a little package of them. And I thought, you know, that looks about the right size. I'm going to make my own. So I did. I cut it off. I had to shorten it. And then I bent it into an L shape. And so far, so good. I've had it in for, I think, 3 days. And it has not fallen out yet. I have had to adjust it a little bit if I forget, you know, that I have it on and I don't know, rub my face or wash my face too aggressively or whatever. But it hasn't actually fallen out. Enough blending, patting, stippling. I think the color's really nice. I like the amount of glow that I'm getting. You know, it's kind of interesting when I go into Sephora or anywhere and they want to match me, foundation match me with something. They will, if my chest is showing, they'll hold it up to my chest. I'm like, I don't want something that matches my chest. My chest is red, like 24/7, 365. It's just one of those places on me that's just continually flushed. And so it's like, don't match my chest. That's not going to look good. And so I prefer to, you know, I'm very sort of pale on my neck right here, and my ears are pretty pale unless they're kind of red. And so it's like if I match to like this part of my neck, then sometimes the foundations will be a little too pale. But if I just match my face, then my face looks way darker than my neck. I don't know. It's a whole thing. It's not easy. It's not easy. Overall, I feel like that looks really nice. Really nice. I'm pleased with that combination so far. I think I am going to go ahead and do the rest of my makeup. I am going to powder just because I plan to put powder, bronzer, and blush and stuff over this, and I will come back and we'll kind of reassess how things look with the products over it, and I'll give you some final thoughts on my mixture of the Purito and the Missha BB creams. I'll be right back. Alright, as you can see, I have the rest of my makeup on. Let me share real quick with you what I put on the rest of my face. I did go ahead and powder over this mixture of the two. I think they're both Korean, I think. I will link all of this stuff down below, of course, as always. But I went in with the Peri Para Ink V Shading Bronzer Contour Palette. I really like this. It's cool, but it's not too cool. And I kind of appreciate that. I also went in with the Siam blusher in the color Selfie Orange, and this was really pretty. This is a matte blusher and it's a little more pigmented than I thought it would be, so I went in with a pretty light hand. And I decided to highlight with my Becca Pearl, what is this? Pure Pearl. And this is a really pretty highlighter. For my eyes, you will have to wait for my tutorial trying on, testing out my Sydney Grace eyeshadows, but that's what I've got on my eyes today. For lashes, I have the Kala Volt lashes in the style Winged, and for my liner, I used the Surratt liner, and I picked that up at Costco. If I didn't already say that, I picked that up at Costco the other day for about $35. It's okay. It's you know, it's not earth-shatteringly wonderful or anything, but you know, I'm kind of glad I have it. We'll see how it wears over the course of the day. For my lips, I have the NYX lip liner in Nude Beige. And over the top of that, I have the Wet n Wild Coffee Cat lip gloss. This is a new one for me. It's pretty. It's a nice, pretty nude color. So as far as the foundation mixture, and I wanted to remind you that I did go in with the Farsali Unicorn Essence. I have a hard time saying that. Unicorn Essence. I'm not 8, and that seems a little silly, but it is pretty, and I'm hoping that it will, you know, help everything last longer and look pretty throughout the day. I did go ahead and spray with the Grand Finale from Collab. This is at Sally Beauty. I think that is everything I did. My brows are the usual stuff, always listed below. For the foundation mixture of the Purito BB Cream and the Missha BB cream, both in shade 23, oddly enough. I really like this combination, at least so far. It doesn't seem to be settling, separating. It's not looking heavy anywhere that I can tell. We'll see how it wears over the course of the day. Like I say, I have that primer on and I also sprayed, so with all those steps involved, I expect it to be good the whole day. It is about 11:30 in the morning and I will definitely do a check-in. I'm hoping to get a full day wear test in with this. I don't think I'm going anywhere, so I'm just going to be hanging out, doing stuff at home and editing and that kind of crap. You don't care what I'm going to be doing today. I don't think I have anything else to say at this point, ladies and gentlemen, but I will definitely do a check-in and I will probably insert that right about here. Hi there, just doing a quick little check-in on my foundation mixture of the Purito and the Missha BB Creams that I put on about 7.5 hours ago. And that's not a super long wear test, but I can tell almost always at the 5 or 6 hour mark if something is just gonna go to shit or not. And this looks really good. I mean, it looks pretty much just like when I put it on. I can't see any kind of creasing or settling or anything like that. I feel like it's really worn well. I think I'm just gonna leave it there, guys. I'm not gonna go on too much because I just don't have that much to say. Thanks so much, you guys, for joining me today. I really appreciate your time here, and I'm glad you joined me for yet another Mix It Monday. I really enjoy doing these. I hope you will consider liking and subscribing. That really helps me out to know what you guys like to see, and especially subscribing. I'm trying to get my numbers up to 100 so that I can have a YouTube link that's basically youtube.com plus my channel name, as opposed to youtube.com plus a bunch of letters and numbers, which is what it is right now. And so if you care to share with people that you think that might enjoy this kind of content, please do so. And ring that notification bell, because that also lets you know when I upload a new video, which is at least 3 or 4 times a week. And thanks so much for watching, you guys. I will see you in my next video. Bye.